mood swings and rage, your libido said deuces, I'm out, hot flashes, belly fat that feels stuck, and sleep problems. If you're wondering what in the hormonal hell is going on with your body, come on in. This video is for you. By the end of this video, you'll know whether or not you're in menopause or perimenopause and what to do about it. I'm Dr. Janet, gynecologist, hypnotherapist, and menopause and intimate health coach. I help women over 40 navigate perimenopause and menopause symptoms so that we can all live lives of peace, passion, and pleasure. Before I jump in, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and that you tell your friends about this video because it could change everything for you and your well-being. And I want it to change it for them too. Let's start with menopause itself. Menopause is a natural event. It's when your ovaries slow down and stop ovulating or releasing eggs. And your menstrual periods come to a stop. Woohoo! Yay! Hey now! The technical or medical definition of menopause is when you've actually gone 12 months without a menstrual cycle or menstrual period. That's it. That's the definition. 1 year without a period because the ovaries have shut down is menopause. Something that most people don't realize is that menopause is just one day. Menopause is one single day. It's the day that you've gone 1 year and you haven't had a menstrual period. Everything after that is postmenopause or postmenopausal. I want to specify that menopause is due to the ovaries no longer functioning. Because if you've had a hysterectomy or had your uterus surgically removed and you still have your ovaries, you may not have menstrual cycles anymore, but you may also not be in menopause because the ovaries are still functioning. And this might make it a little bit more difficult to know whether or not you're in menopause. So that's just one little caveat. If you've had a hysterectomy or had your uterus surgically removed, you may not know as easily whether or not you're in menopause. Now, all of the chaos, the roller coaster ride of your emotions and symptoms that happen prior to menopause, that one day that you've gone 12 months without a menstrual cycle, all of the time before that is what we call perimenopause. And perimenopause is the transition leading up to menopause. It usually starts somewhere in your 40s, although for some women it can sneak up prior to that. And this is when your hormones start fluctuating wildly. I always compare it to a roller coaster ride. You're going up, you're going down, you're going all the way around. It's a lot of craziness happening with the hormones. You might still get your period, but it might become more irregular. You might miss some periods. It might get heavier. We see the whole gamut of these types of changes in the perimenopausal time period. This is the time period where we start to see some of these symptoms like hot flashes, weight changes, changes in your mood, brain fog, irritability, your libido takes a dip. This is the time frame where these symptoms start to show themselves. So if you're over 40 and you're experiencing any of these symptoms, you're not losing your mind, you are most likely in perimenopause. So here's a little timeline for reference. When we are in our mother's wombs as just fetuses, inside of the ovaries, there are about 7 million eggs. When we're born, that number drops down to about 1 million. By the time we're in puberty, that number drops down to around 300 to 500,000. By your mid-40s, only a few thousand eggs remain, and they're not as responsive to hormonal signaling. And in perimenopause and menopause, we see that number of eggs drop down to 300 or 400. And this is where we start seeing changes in the cycles because the ovaries are not functioning in the same way they used to on a regular basis. And perimenopause kicks on in. The main hormone driving all of this is estrogen. And estrogen is sort of the queen hormone of the reproductive system. When estrogen levels begin to decline, we see a whole range of symptoms that occur because it is so involved in the different areas of our body. It's involved with our temperature regulation systems, and that's where we see these hot flashes coming from. It's involved in our metabolism and inflammation in the body, and this is where we see belly fat and weight gain occurring. It's very involved with our sleep cycles and the mechanisms of sleep in our brain, and that's where we see problems with insomnia or sudden awakening in the middle of the night. And also, estrogen is involved with our brain chemistry, very deeply involved with our brain chemistry. And some of the hormonal factors and neurotransmitters or brain chemicals that are very important for our mood and well-being. And so this is where we see some of the issues with our memory and mood, anxiety, depression, brain fog. All of those are combined in response to our estrogen's involvement in brain function. And then, of course, our intimate health, our sexual health, and libido and well-being is very deeply involved with our vaginal health, vaginal moisture, lubrication, as well as libido and desire. Estrogen is kind of like our body's feel-good, stay balanced hormone. And when it's in flux and decline, we can really feel it. So how do you know where you are? Are you in menopause or are you in perimenopause? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. If you've gone 1 year without a period and you still have your ovaries in, you're in postmenopause. You've gone through menopause and you're in postmenopause. If you're over 40 and you're having any of these symptoms like hot flashes, waking up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning for no reason, night sweats, you're waking up sweating in the nighttime, you've got brain fog or irritability, mood changes, if you've got pain with intercourse all of a sudden, dryness of the vagina, decreased lubrication, changes in your libido, all of these things may be signs that your estrogen levels are fluctuating. If your periods are irregular, all of these point towards perimenopause. And even if you've gone a year without a period and now you're postmenopausal, you can still have a lot of these symptoms. So the technical term is after you've gone 1 year without a period, that's menopause. Everything after that is postmenopause. But you can have any of these symptoms throughout all 3 of these phases. And remember, you can't confirm menopause until you've actually gone 1 year without a menstrual period. And so the diagnosis is a retrospective one, or one that we can only look back on. Okay, so what do we do about it? Once we know we're in perimenopause or menopause, what do we do? The very first thing you want to do is learn about menopause and what you can expect and the treatment options that are available. And you can do that by subscribing to this channel, for example, working with a menopause and intimate health coach like me to come up with a personalized plan. Step 2 is to find and build your community. Talk to your girlfriends, talk to your aunties, talk to your friends about it, talk to your family, and join a community. You can join my community called The Change, where you get support for perimenopause and menopause changes. Whatever the community is, you need to get around people who are going through the same thing or who have gone through the same thing, so you have some additional support. Whether in person or virtual, you want to build that community around yourself so that you don't go through this alone. We can learn from each other, and every woman who lives long enough will eventually go through menopause. So there's no reason for us to do this by ourselves. The more that we share, the better that we all do. Step 3 is to talk to your healthcare professional. Find a doctor who is comfortable with menopause care. Many physicians were simply not trained in menopause care, and that's a problem that we are starting to see change. But you deserve someone who can guide you through your options confidently. If your current doctor isn't comfortable talking to you about menopause, it's perfectly fine to find one who is. So whether you're just starting to notice some changes or you're already in the thick of it, know this: there's nothing wrong with you. You are not losing it, and you're not alone. This is just another chapter. And with the right kind of knowledge and support, it can be your best chapter yet. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and share this with a friend. That way, more women can discover this information and get the support that we all deserve and need. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.